Hello, welcome to Call Mission, your college admission advisor. Founded by MBAs and engineers with deep expertise in admission consulting services, we help students applying to top-tier MBA, MS, PhD programs in U.S. universities. We partner with students and their families, and assist them in every step of the complex admission process. Today we will discuss about MBA application process. Why to do an MBA? The reason for doing an MBA may vary from one person to another. However, before you decide to do an MBA, you must understand the benefits offered by the course. So, let us discuss the various motivating factors that have led to an increase in demand for an MBA. Financial reward. For pursuing an MBA, you will have to spend thousands of dollars, so it is important to know the return on your investment. Students after passing MBA from top universities get an average salary of $60,000 annually. So, you can just imagine how good amount of money you can earn after completing your MBA. Intellectual challenge. Some scholars enjoy being challenged. If you want to test your level of intelligence, then MBA is the right option. While pursuing the course, you will come across various subjects like costing, managerial economics, marketing management, financial management, etc., that will truly test your intellectual ability. Personality development. MBA is not all about academics, rather it shapes your entire personality. You will gain knowledge. Along with that, you will also develop other key skills like interpersonal skills, leadership skills, etc. In short, you will be a completely changed individual. Professional advancement. Some working professionals want to do an MBA for their career advancement. Suppose you are an executive, and you aspire to be a manager, but you know that you don't have the set of skills required to be a manager. Hence, you should go for an MBA course, which would help you in acquiring the skills, and then you can come back to the same company and can get a higher position. It is the admission committee, or the admission officers who matter. It is their decision that counts. So let us discuss the core aspects of your profile that the admission committee will be evaluating. Your statistics. If you talk about the statistics, your GMAT score, your GRE score, and the GPA matter the most. A strong GMAT score is preferred. However, your GRE score is also important as it is an alternative to the GMAT. If you have not taken a GMAT, then majority of the schools will consider your GRE score. In most cases, a GPA of above 3 is considered good. Then comes your professional experience. Of course, it is very important. Through your professional experience, the admission officers take into account the responsibilities you have taken. In order to describe your professional experience, you need to throw some light on your soft skills too. So, let me describe the soft skills, which you need to mention, with an example. Let me explain with a real-life situation. We had an employee who was struggling with work, and was often criticized. So, what I did was, after the work was over, I gave him time. I used to sit down with him, and taught him the basics. After 3 months or so, to everyone's surprise, he started working efficiently, and contributed to the company. Again, he came back, appreciated my efforts, and thanked me, and that felt pretty good. So, explaining with real-life examples will help you to impress upon the admission authorities. Your community and personal profile. Your community profile truly matters, as the schools don't need a geek, or a candidate with GPA of 3.5 or above. What they need is a good scholar, who is a good person. Through your community profile, you can say what you have done for the community, or how you help people. Your personal profile is also important, as they want to know you as a person, because your unique personal attributes will help them to add diversity to the class. Your fit with the target programs. If you are applying to a particular school, then the admission authorities will want to know the reason. They will ask you, why have you applied for our school? Why not other schools? It is not that the seats are vacant, or you got a good score, and you expect them to get you in. You need to do enough research on the business school you are applying to. the admission officers want to see if the candidate will complete the degree, because they want to ensure that, after 3 months, you are not upset, or you don't feel like I have had enough, and I want to leave the program. So, your level of comfort with the program is very important, and you need to prove you are the one who will adapt to the competitive environment, complete the course, and represent the school after you pass out. So, let us take a look at the different types of MBA programs. The full-time program. It is preferred by almost 90% of students. They opt for this program, as it gives the maximum exposure. Through his program you gain and learn a lot, but you need to attend classes full-time. Executive program is mostly preferred by working professionals, who want to get an additional MBA degree. While they work, they normally have their classes in the weekends. They continue their study along with their work. Part-time program. It is mostly preferred by the students who want distance education. So, all you need to do is sit back at your hometown, enroll into a particular school and get the degree. It is for the students who want the degree for the name's sake. If you are serious about MBA, I will recommend you to go for the full-time MBA program. Doing an MBA in a top-league university can be expensive. Therefore, before investing your money, you need to do ample research, and ensure that you get yourself into a business school, which suits your requirement. Now, you must be wondering, from where do I research? And what are the authentic sources? You can refer to websites like the US News, the Financial Times, and the school websites. These sources provide genuine and most authentic information. Now that you already know about the source from where you can get the information, you need to know what all you have to research about. School websites. You can use the school websites to get an idea about the culture of your target schools and the number of students in the campus. You can also interact with the schools through chats or webinars, where the admission directors will answer the questions. Your research will entirely depend on your interest level. Some students, who are interested in marketing and entrepreneurship, will research on the schools which are good for marketing, and offer enough scope and facilities for entrepreneurship, whereas other schools might be good in finance and economics. So, you need to synchronize your research with your requirements. You can also research on the teaching methods, the faculty members, and facilities provided by the schools. You need to take a note on the strengths of different schools, like some schools might be good for marketing, other schools may provide excellent facilities for learning finance and economics. We recommend you to take a closer look at the rankings of different schools, along with their recognition and speciality. Once you have decided to apply to your target business schools, you need to carefully fill your application form. Your application will consist of various important components, based on which your candidacy will be evaluated, and the decision will be made. Let us take a look at the various components of the business school application. Your scores really matter, and a GPA greater than 3 is preferred. Then comes your transcript. Now, you must be thinking, what is a transcript? A transcript is the record of a student's entire academic performance, which will be issued by the previous institution. Your resume. You need to present your resume, which should be short, simple, and to the point. In the later chapters, we will discuss about the various ways of writing a resume. Essays. They form the foundation of your application. The schools will ask you to write essays on various topics. Now, the question comes. Why do they ask you to write essays? The answer is simple, they want to know you through it. The essay topics can be based on your community achievements, professional experience, and your career goals. Your interview. The interview will count and decide your course of admission. Your recommendation. They are the only external source of information. So, the schools will ask you to get the recommendation letter from a person who knows you well, and can write about your personal and professional aspects, or your strengths and weaknesses. Your short answer responses. You need to answer them carefully. The short answers may include the following. Tell us something that is not mentioned in your application. Which is your most memorable moment and why? The answers to these questions may seem to be simple, but you need to present them carefully. Let us discuss each and every aspect of the MBA application process in detail. Intellect is nothing but your ability to understand. Your GMAT score will surely demonstrate your intellectual horsepower. However, no particular set of scores will guarantee an admission in the top business schools, because there are various other factors, depending on which your candidacy is evaluated. A candidate with a high GMAT score of 710 gets rejected, whereas another candidate with an average GMAT score, who has written exceptional essays and submitted an impactful letter of recommendation, gets accepted. Now, you must be wondering, what is the highest possible GMAT score? The highest possible GMAT score is 800. Now, I want to stress upon some common admission myths. Every year, applicants who have scored 750, or even higher, are rejected. Jonathan Fuller, Senior Associate Director at the Ross Business School says, "I relish nothing more than rejecting candidates that have a 780 GMAT score." Here, he clearly states that the GMAT score is not everything, as you need to be an all-round performer. Again, you might want to know whether you can take a GMAT multiple times. Well, if you have taken a GMAT 3 to 4 times, and your score has improved notably, then it is perceived positively by the admission officers. Your GPA. A GPA of around 3.5 is preferred by the top universities. In countries like India, the GPA is calculated from the scale of 10, whereas in the United States, the GPA is calculated from the scale of 4. You can refer to the World Education Services website for the conversion of your GPA. Suppose your GPA is below 3, now, the question comes, how do you make up for a weak GPA? You can reposition yourself as someone more matured than you were during your college days, or someone who has transformed into a dedicated and motivated individual. You can take the help of your essays and the recommendation letter to highlight these facts. A strong GMAT score can also make up for a weak GPA. So, if you have a weak GPA, you must strive hard to score well in your GMAT test. Your professional experience. The admission committees thoroughly examine your professional experience, because through your experiences, they will have an idea about the responsibilities taken by you. The admission officers want a candidate who has taken up responsibilities in the past and is matured enough to take up the challenging course of MBA.
Community profile is another aspect which the admission committee has an interest. They want to know that what contributions you have made towards the community. You can sincerely add value by volunteering in some way. Showing personal commitment to and passion for a cause or organization and seeking leadership opportunities outside work indicate that you have strong personal qualities and gives the admissions committee deeper insight into your candidacy. In your personal profile, admissions officers unquestionably want to assemble a diverse class. You can also successfully demonstrate diversity through your community activities, aspects of your professional life, or even your personal hobbies and interests. Your personal profile demonstrates your characteristics and behavior towards the community. The admissions officers will also evaluate whether you are fit for your target program or not by asking you some questions such as, why you have chosen their school over other schools, as you represent a risk in that you could accept a place in their class and then be unhappy and struggle with the program. Officers want to bring together candidates who are a good fit with their school's community and will go out into the world after graduation as positive for the school brand. About your application. Who reads your application? Your application is read by full-time admission staffs, part-time contract readers, current students, professor or alumni. Journey of your application. Your application faces 4 thorough scrutinization, mainly known as the first read, the second read, the interview and the final read. What you need to do through your application process. We advise you to market yourself. You might be thinking how? Let's see how to market yourself. You must know how to differentiate yourself and who you are up against. You must showcase your attributes. Special circumstances. GMAT, TOEFL score. What can be considered as academic accomplishments? computer skills internal training courses in a company. Black Belt 6 Sigma etc. cannot be considered as academic accomplishment. Important aspects that determine your professional accomplishments are jobs, stability, promotions or additional responsibilities. Timeline. Assuming you have 15 to 20 hours per week on applications and you target 3 to 5 schools, here are the estimates of how much time you need for each task. For gathering information on schools, 1 to 2 weeks. Defining your career goals, 1 to 2 weeks. Crafting your one-page resume should not take more than a week. For preparing and taking GMAT you should spend at least 6 to 12 weeks. Selecting and coaching recommender, 2 recommenders mostly who know you well should not take more than 6 weeks. Completing application forms, 2 to 3 weeks. Official transcripts, 2 weeks, it can take a long time. Interviewing, 2 to 3 weeks. Timeline for the round 1. Spring gather the information. June take standardized tests, study in March, April, May. In July, August, September draft application essays. August-September application forms are out, fill them. October to November submit applications and prepare for the interviews. December relax with the acceptance letter in hand. Timeline for round 2. June gather information. In July, August, September prepare for and take standardized tests. October, November select and coach your recommenders. In October, November, December draft application essay. In January, February submit applications and prepare for interviews. In April you can relax and wait for the acceptance. You can seek support from your admissions consultant, GMAT teacher, friends or anybody who can support you in this process. What are the common challenges faced during the MBA application process? In a brainstorming process you can convey your qualities with the help of your past responsibilities, your nature of work, your volunteering and personal accomplishment. Your experience is not judged from your salary. Rather, they look into your achievements. A manager who brought a new product to market may think of this accomplishment as an example of leadership. Is leadership the only attribute a manager has? No, the manager might have some other traits. The manager may have conceived the idea which depicts creativity. He pushed his or her firm to implement it. Entrepreneurship, navigating internal conflict shows teamwork skills and dealing with sourcing issues or product attributes shows his ethics. You might consult the experts or consider discussing your experiences with parents, supervisors, colleagues, friends and other appropriate individuals to generate additional story. Hard accomplishments you achieved as part of your community can effectively prove your competence and, more importantly, diversify your application by highlighting personal values. Common questions which can depict your community experiences are, how you managed a successful fundraiser for a local charity, how you coached a children's soccer team, how you helped an elderly neighbor with her taxes and financial planning. Writing your community stories as per the requirement of the admissions officers can be challenging because admissions committees are on the hunt for the next great business leaders and a truly dynamic candidate. Hence, showing that you are multi-talented is quite important. How to write the most effective application essays. You will be asked to write essays on real-life situations such as how you coached a children's football team. For this question here are some tips to draft your essay. In paragraph 1, introduction to the challenges encountered by the team. In second paragraph, preventive actions taken to resolve these challenges. In third paragraph, motivational actions taken to resolve these challenges. In fourth and fifth paragraph, mention about the results and takeaways. Here are some golden rules for writing a compelling essay. Rule 1. Do not just write an essay, write a narrative. You are not trying to prove a theory in your application essays, but are instead trying to present a story that shows who you are and what you have experienced. Rule 2. Use the first person. You should virtually always be using the pronouns I, me and my. Words like one, he and his, we, need to be strictly avoided. Rule 3. Keep things simple. Writing a narrative does not require using long, complex sentences. Rule 3. Keep things simple. Writing a narrative does not require using long, complex sentences. complicated or obscure vocabulary. The more straightforward your language, the easier telling your story will be to understand. Rule 4. Embrace the conflict. Although in life, conflict is not typically considered a welcome thing, including a conflict in your application essays are actually very important. Rule 5. Answer the question. Most of the time applicants work and rework an essay so much that when they are done, they do not realize that they have changed their initial story. And at last, Rule 6. Respect the word count. What should be your overall strategy? Think about the key points in your background. Essays take time. You are required to write 2 to 6 essays per school. Avoid family. Work on one school at a time. Start early. Word counts. Avoid giving your reader extra work. Writing style. Be direct and keep it plain and simple. Avoid dramatic essays, hyper-creative essays. Don't just write, explain with a relevant example. What do you need to avoid? Avoid quotes, dialogue, avoid repetition, passive voice. Popular essay questions are: define your career goals. Why MBA? Or why a specific school? Define your accomplishments. Failures. Leadership. Ethical dilemma. Open-ended questions like, what matters more to you and why? Creative questions like, describe yourself to your classmates. Letter of recommendation. What is the need for the letters of recommendations? They provide the only outside information the admissions committee receives about a candidate. They can largely control the admissions committee's impression of you by what you choose to share in your application and how you present that information. Role of recommendation. Third-party perspective about a candidate's experience and leadership skills. The following questions will instantly spring to mind as you consider your recommendation letters, such as, can I write my own letters of recommendation? The answer is no, as it is not only ethically wrong, but it is also strategically wrong for you. Who can write my letters? Someone who can write a personal and knowledgeable letter that discusses your talents, accomplishments, personality and potential. You should educate your recommender with your interest, accomplishments, career goals, related to the requirements of the school, list of target schools and deadlines, copy of your resume, list of questions, draft of goal essay, discuss the various circumstances under which you have flourished, make them understand the importance of the letter, how to choose a perfect recommender. Gather some intelligence on your potential recommenders. Consider the following. Have they written letters for anyone else? Are they generous with their time? Do you believe they will devote the effort and time necessary to write a letter that will really shine? Are they typically good about deadlines? How to interact with schools. There are many ways of interacting with schools, such as campus visits, alumni, students, professors, etc. Interview. Why do I take my interview seriously? Many applicants spend hours into essays, yet fail to prepare adequately for their interviews and hence get rejected at the last moment. The interview process is by invitation of school, applicant-initiated and post-wait list. The types of interview are blind, non-blind and behavioral interview. The interviews are taken by admission officers, students or alumni. The location of interview are off campus or on campus. How to manage wait list situation. You can manage the wait list situation by trying to know the reason for your wait list. You should regularly follow up with the school and try to know what was missing or what was the reason for which they have kept you in wait list. Being in wait list clearly shows that you are still in the race of being selected, but you should try to improve your chance. How can we help? As we are in this profession of U.S. admission process, we can better guide you in drafting your essays, which would clearly make your application distinct from others. If you feel that you have low GPA, GMAT or you don't have any community experience, no need to worry, we have solution to every problems of yours. Worried about deadlines? Partner with us and we will keep you updated about every deadlines, whether be it application or the financial deadlines. We know what it takes to impress the admission officers and compel them to accept your candidacy. Getting into top business schools is tough. We will help you unlock the door. Mission has helped hundreds of aspiring students to come up and live their dreams. Brainstorming by experts help in converting your weaknesses into strength. And application goes through a 3-way review process by our team before being finalized. The experts from the United States with years of experience add the final touch. Interviews can be tricky. We will shape your skills. We provide end-to-end services, starting from the admission deadlines to the visa process.